Okay, so in this writer's workshop section, we are going to concentrate on one of the parts of the paragraph, specifically the topic sentence, which is in our RACES format. It's the R and the A, extremely important because it states the main idea of the paragraph. It's going to tell your reader when you write it what the paragraph will be all about. Great topic sentence do a couple of things. First of all, it names the subject or the topic, and then it gives a focus or the main point that you're trying to argue or explain within your paragraph. So what I'm going to do to use it as an example is I'm going to go back to the secondary source that we have discussed. It's called The American Political Upheaval Led to the U.S. Independence. And we discussed this and we annotated it because before you can even create a topic sentence or the R and the A, you must actually read the article that you're trying to respond to, and you should be understanding it quite well. This is very small, sorry about that, but you should be annotating it and understanding it fully as out in class. So this is the one that we were doing. I don't know if you remember that, but anyway, so if we go to the question that I asked you, how did patriots living in the British colonies go about gaining their freedom from Great Britain? In order to create initially the topic sentence, you need to restate the question, or TTQA, turn the question around, whatever it may be. It's our R. So I did. I went back to the question, how did the patriots living in the British colonies go about gaining their freedom? And I wrote, patriots living in the British colonies were able to gain their freedom from Great Britain. And that's your first part of your topic sentence. Second part is you need to answer it. After going through my secondary source, I realized there were many ways that British colonists, what they did, their actions that they did to gain their freedom, according to this secondary source. So I said, just briefly, through a variety of ways. When you put those two together, you get your topic sentence. Patriots living in the British colonies were able to gain their freedom from Great Britain through a variety of ways. So I'm very broad in my answer here. So I want to go a little bit more specific. So I'm going to actually add another sentence. More importantly, the Patriots created a Continental Congress and their own army called the Continental Army to fight against the British. So there were many ways that they were able to gain, their actions that gained their freedom. But these are the two major points that I saw as I was reading through that I want to elaborate and explain a little bit more. Created a Continental Congress, and they also created their own army called the Continental Army. Okay, so together, that's your response. The topic sentence is the first one, and then I went into more explaining that more. So it explains what the variety of ways were. So it is part of your answer, but it's just an elaboration or an explanation of this. We could even color this pink for elaboration and explanation, but it is part of your actual answer. Okay, so the topic sentence identifies the main idea of the paragraph. So the main idea, it also states the point the writer wished to make about the subject. So main idea is how the colonies were able to gain their freedom, and the point that I'm going to make is that there was a variety of ways, specifically creating the Continental Congress and the Continental Army. So I'm really set up this paragraph nice to move on into my paragraph, the beginning of my paragraph. So the R and the A. What I would like you to do right now is to turn this off, and I'd like you to go into your response or your paragraph and see if you have the R and the A created the topic sentence at the beginning of your paragraph, because they do appear at the beginning of the is 9 times out of 10 the very first sentence, and I want you guys to have it as the first sentence so that when a writer sorry, when the reader reads it, understands what your paragraph is going to be all about. So do that now.